Welcome to the From Concealment Podcast, the show for firearm enthusiasts who like to shoot, train, carry, and compete. Get ready for some shooting insight, firearm and accessory reviews, and of course, insight on concealed carry. And now, broadcasting from behind enemy lines in the From Concealment studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dan Sams.
Hey, Freedom Nation, this is Pete Mitchell.
And this is Dan Sams.
And you are listening to the From Concealment Podcast, which is being brought to you by fastoc.com. In fact, if you are in the Southern California area and want to go to a handgun challenge or two, you have got to check out fastoc.com. They've got handgun challenges. They've got training classes. In fact, in the next week or so, I got to head on over to there to one of their CCW renewal courses because I'm due. I already filled out my paperwork, but I got to upload my certificate to Orange County so cool. I can renew my CCW. But yeah, check them out, fastoc.com. They got all kinds of great training and handgun challenges. They are a bunch of great people. I love hanging out with them. I love shooting with them.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dan, we started talking about this a little bit before we started recording. Kind of an interesting story. So for those of you that are in California, if you're not a part of the CRPA, California Rifle Pistol Association, I'm going to recommend that you join this group. Unlike the NRA, these are the guys who actually fight against unjust California laws. If you all remember our Freedom Week last year where we got to buy standard capacity magazines for the first time in years, that was because of the CRPA. Now, the NRA takes credit, but they weren't the ones fighting it. It was, exactly. It was the CRPA who did it. And so anyway, I got their magazine because I'm a member. And I'm reading through it. There's actually a lot of really good stats in here. Like they were looking at the Secret Service did a review of the last 2 decades of school shootings. And so they went through and basically we're putting together stats on the reasonings behind school shootings, what they know. It's a little bit skewed because they only had 41 school shootings to look at. I say only. I mean, that's a lot, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah. It's really hard to get data out of 40 of anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the real reason why it's kind of like, not great. But anyway, great articles in this particular month's issue. But the one that totally stood out to me, and I'm reading this thing. So we've talked about red flag laws and how you and I are not in favor of red flag laws for
not at all.
A multitude of reasons. But here's where it's gone to. There is a sheriff by the name of Jerry Hatcher in Benton County, Washington. And he's had a red flag law filed against him by his estranged spouse. I don't know if they've gotten the divorce yet because this happened in October of last year. And so he can't carry a gun. He has lost the right to carry a gun, which means he can't be sheriff, even though he was elected to be sheriff, because of some accusations. Now, the reality is we have no idea what the situation is. According to her, he's cheated on her. He's beaten her. He's threatened her life. She finally got fed up with it, filed for divorce, and then filed for this protective order to have his firearms kept from him. And of course, he's denying everything. So it's a he said, she said thing. We don't know. Certainly, I was just sharing with Dan before the call. We did a quick little Google search, and what's the most recent article? February 3rd of 2020. Benton County deputies vote no confidence in sheriff, label him a tyrant. So.
Man,
even his own deputies are not saying I think nice things about him. So again, but that's accusations, right? I have no idea. I don't know the dude.
Yeah,
I know nothing about the situation. But now this guy can't be sheriff. Like, he's lost his firearm. You can't be a sheriff who. What is he, Barney Fife? Right? And he keeps the bullet in his front pocket. He can't have a firearm.
Man,
and there's serious problems when it's like all it takes is an accusation.
Yeah.
And one thing I can tell you from personal experience, how I've seen the courts rule on different issues, they do not admit to mistakes. They will
they don't.
quickly shut down a company at the request of, say, the FTC, they will freeze assets, and you will not be able to reverse that, because that would be the court admitting it made a mistake.
Yeah.
I knew this one company that wasn't doing anything wrong. Court freezes the assets as of the FTC requested them to do that. And even though they had done nothing wrong, they just put basically, 200 families out, because they closed down the company. So 200 families out. The 1,000 clients they had, all of them got screwed. It was a law firm. And I mean, it's just like, they don't admit to making a mistake. And I don't know how we've allowed our country to come to this, when there is no way they would have been able to do any of this stuff 200 years ago.
Yeah. Nope.
And this is what we've come to.
Yeah. But we're just not functioning in accordance with our Constitution. And that's just the plain facts of it. And it's hard to even label as anything other than that. Like, we just don't follow our Constitution. Just haven't been, this is, and it sounds like there's a good chance this sheriff is a jerk, probably deserves what's coming to him, but we're supposed to follow the process of the law.
Right.
He's supposed to be proven guilty. He's supposed to, we're to assume innocence until he's proven guilty. All these kind of things. And this is why I will all the time come at both Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, non-conservatives, Christians, Muslims, everybody. And when they say, oh yeah, well, we didn't follow the process there, but at least they put a bad guy away. I will stop them right there and say, you recognize that now that gets used as a precedence later on. Yep. Now it's okay to do that. Now they'll be able to cite, well, in such and such case over here, they did that and it was allowed. And then they'll be able to use that against you when they decide they want to come against you. You got to recognize that even when they do this to jerks and bad guys and wife beaters and all those kind of things, if they're not following the process of the law properly, well, first of all, then it's a lot harder for you to know that that guy was actually a bad guy. You're going on what all the news is saying. But also it means that they can turn around and do the same thing to you and nobody will be able to say boo.
Yeah.
And it's disheartening.
It's scary that they do that, and that there is no respect for the Constitution. There's no respect for due process. I mean, even Trump, I remember him saying, take the guns first, due process second. No.
Yeah, that's terrible.
No, you are the leader of the free world, and you're basically saying, we're just going to go ahead and assume we know what's best.
Oh, that's why when people are like, this is the most pro-Second Amendment guy we've ever had. And I'm like, no, you have no idea.
Dude,
you're talking like a fool.
Yanked bump stocks.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
They literally redefined what a machine gun is. No, not even close.
Yeah. Well, and all of that in the realm of ATF regulations, nobody there was going back and saying, what does the Second Amendment say? Which none of these people
really
seem to
interesting.
care.
There was another article in here. Here it is. Why do we have the National Firearms Act?
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, so it was telling us the whole story. As you guys know, 1934 is when the National Firearms Act was put into action. And basically there was public outcry against all the gangster guns, right? That's what they were calling them. Short barrel rifles, machine guns, things like that. Prior to this, you could literally go into any hardware store or mail order catalog, buy whatever you wanted, have it shipped right to you. There was a common respect for firearms.
Yeah.
One, it was a way of life. Like, people hunted, like everyone hunted. So, I mean, that's just what you did. And interestingly enough, I mean, I've read a lot of different stories on this. The firearms that, Bonnie and Clyde and everything else they're attributed with were not the major firearms being used. It was just, media back then made a big deal out of it. Oh, hey, they got a Tommy gun. Let's ban Tommy guns. Mm-hmm. So, basically went into this article saying, Congress wanted to ban certain guns, just outright ban them. And basically they were the Attorney General, Homer Cummings. He just basically said, you cannot. The Second Amendment stops you from banning firearms.
Yep.
So he did what he could to stand up. But he basically said, all right, the most you can do is a $200 tax which was how much the guns cost. A Tommy gun cost $200. So he basically made it 100% tax. Now, keep in mind, $200 in 1934, that's like $3,000 or $4,000 today.
Yeah.
It's like buying a really, really nice 1911, maybe a 2011, and then doubling that.
Yep.
So they essentially stopped people from being able to get those. Now, fortunately, that number has never increased because it's still $200 today if you want to get your NFA stamp tax, your tax stamp. And that's, I mean, it's all because of all that stuff that went down back then. But I mean, he was wisely enough said, you can't ban this stuff. Constitutionally speaking, you can't ban it. So they did the next best thing. They made it so hard and at the time unobtainable. And then you got states like California today, which basically said, well, we're going to go ahead and ban it. So you can't even have an NFA item in California. You can't have a suppressor. You can't have a short barrel rifle. You can't have basically anything that's fun unless you're in the movie industry. And then there's an exemption for you because
as always,
California's got to have its revenue stream.
Yeah.
Governor Newsom, California's governor, has literally signed every gun law that has crossed his desk, even though Jerry Brown, another Democrat loser governor that we had before Newsom, had rejected them 2 to 3 times. Like, that guy wouldn't even pass them because he's like, you can't do this. And so now there's another bill making its way through California where they want to ban all center fire firearms. Basically, they want to ban it. Like, we have the Heller decision from the Supreme Court. We know the Supreme Court has already ruled and said you cannot ban a firearm that is in common use. You can't do it. And no one cares. Everyone has totally just said, forget it. Don't care. Can do what we want to do. And you guys in your free states think that our stuff doesn't affect you?
Oh, it does every time.
We are the biggest exporters of crap in the nation.
Yeah.
All these crap laws are getting exported to a state near you.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it with red flag laws, seen it with all these other things. And it's like we said before, it's all related to precedents. And actually, even if it's not, even if they end up giving California a headache for it over it later, which they won't, Oregon gets to say, well, California got away with it. I'll bet we can too.
Yep.
And Utah can do the same thing or whatever. Like they're going to keep doing that until just state by state, we've lost it all.
Yeah.
And people also, I don't think people on, for lack of a better term, on the right are playing the same game that the leftists are playing. The leftists are thinking, what can we get away with? And we're going to do it. The people on the right, and this is not what I would call necessarily Republicans, people on the right are thinking, how do I make sure I'm following the Constitution? And then I'm going to ask them nicely to do the same thing. We're not in that world anymore. Unfortunately, the game of what is constitutional is out the window. They're already violating it to such a degree, it doesn't even matter. So it's like I'm playing football with somebody, they violated all the rules, and I'm trying to ask them nicely to come back on the field and play by the rules. They're not gonna. So right now, unfortunately, us playing by the rules is probably hurting us because we're not even playing the same game anymore. And so I think we need to start thinking on, okay, what did they get away with in that state? Can we get this state to do the exact opposite and not think, oh, wait a minute, what if the Supreme Court strikes this down or doesn't allow this, or if they make a law against this? We can't think like that. We need to move in our local states to try to move for as much freedom as possible, no matter what's going on, and don't worry about what might be done by the Supreme Court taking a case and striking it down later. They may or may not do that. Let's focus on freedom where you are right now. This is why local politics actually does matter a little bit, because it's like, can I get my sheriff to make sure that we're a 2A sanctuary? Can I get the city police chief to agree to not enact red flag laws if they pass them? You start doing those kinds of things at the local level. That guy that lives in the same town as you and makes decisions that are real and affect you. And we start leveling that up. You get enough sheriffs doing that, and then all of a sudden they don't want to pass anything at the state because they're going to have a big headache dealing with all the sheriffs. That kind of advocacy at the local and regional level matters, and it ultimately has influence at the national level. So my 2 cents on that, man.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. It's interesting. There was another article in here on the IWI Taver TS12. This looks to be just a freaking phenomenal semi-automatic shotgun by the Israeli weapons industry, the Taver TS12. And what's interesting is I'm reading this thing, right? It's got like 3 barrels on it. It holds 15 cartridges, 5 per barrel. And it's a bullpup, 18 and a half inch. And I'm looking, but here's the thing. Then they had to go into, now, is this legal in California? Like, that's how jacked up my state is, right? Let me tell you about this really cool gun over here. Is it legal in California? And so they started going through, all right, here's all the laws. And so they were basically going through it. And they basically arrived at the conclusion, all right, so technically it's cool. However, California also says you can't have more than 10 rounds in a firearm or a magazine. So, there's enough of a wiggle room here that it's like, yeah, it's California, man. You're not going to be able to get it.
Yeah.
Like, I think they kind of at the end of it, just kind of said, look, I think you can get away with it, but it's California.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
a cool looking gun. This actually, it looks like the guns from Starship Troopers.
It does.
It looks like a space gun, but it looks cool, man.
I got to be honest with you. I've never fired a gun that has multiple barrels. I don't know how it works. Like, do you rotate in another barrel? I have no idea how it works.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to get it. I don't know.
It almost works.
It almost looks so. I only see the one barrel in this.
I know, right?
What I do see is the why am I drawing a blank on it? The little chamber that looks like a barrel that holds all of the. It looks like there's 3 of those, and like they're on a swivel, almost like it's a.
So is that what the barrel? Is that what they were referring to?
Maybe I don't know. That's what it looks like. I only see one barrel in this thing.
Yeah,
that is cool. Can you imagine though? Like you cycle through your 10 rounds or whatever, and then like click that thing over, and you go like
you're good to go. Right?
So that means this holds 30 rounds, right?
No, it holds 15 plus 1 in the chamber.
Okay, never mind. So it's 5, and 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, never mind. Yeah, I was thinking crazy. Well, although you could put shorties in that.
Probably.
You could probably put more than 30. Talk about a home defense right there, man. Can you imagine like going to the range?
Thing. I'm looking at the picture in the magazine and I'm like, that does not look like an 18 and a half inch barrel. Like it just doesn't. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, dude, that thing, I bet you that thing is just fun. That thing has just got to be a blast to go shoot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's the beauty of a bullpup is that you're going all the way up into the stock with that barrel length.
Yeah. No, I've got a bullpup. Yeah. I've got a California compliant bullpup, a Kel-Tec, and it is. I want to say I've got a 20-inch barrel, and it's my shortest rifle.
Yep.
It's a 20-inch barrel, and it's the shortest rifle I got.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's awesome. No, I'm thinking in a shotgun too, man. You're going to have that's going to be a pretty.
Can you imagine the recoil on that sucker?
Well, it's semi-auto though. It's going to be nice. It's not going to be too bad.
I don't know, man. Are you kidding? I don't care if it is semi-auto. There's going to be some kick to that sucker,
dude. They're not as bad as you might think. I mean, you're going to feel it. There's no question. But semi-auto shotguns are where it's at, man.
My Kel-Tec is so freaking loud.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so, I mean, you got to think where's the action is literally like right by your face because it's so far back into the gun. Yeah. I mean, that thing is loud when you shoot.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh,
what's that one chambered in? What's that Kel-Tec in?
It's 223 or 556.
Oh yeah, nice.
So, I mean, it's not bad, right? Because that doesn't have hardly any kick on it.
It's not too bad.
No,
yeah.
No.
Oh, that's fun. I always think it's interesting when you look at like the whole trigger setup on those, because there's like this really, like when you're doing the, build out or you're taking it apart, like the thing goes way back here because you're firing like behind you. Yeah. It's just the weirdest thing.
I have to, basically, I got to send mine into Kel-Tec. I bought mine used and it's randomly double tapping. So not good. Right.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. Not good at all. And,
don't talk about that too much. The range officers will hear you.
Oh, dude, they came up to me. They're like, is that double tapping? I'm like, yep.
A little bit.
And they're like, you can't shoot that here. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Of course they say that to me at the end of the day.
Of course.
I mean,
so wait, so is it a trigger issue? Like, is it?
I don't know. I see the problem is because it's a Kel-Tec and not an AR. I'm looking at the guts of it. I'm like, I don't know how this is supposed to be structured. I have no idea what's going on here. That's why I got to basically send it into Kel-Tec, and I just haven't had a chance to do it.
Man. Yeah, that's interesting. I want to know what they end up explaining that with, because I have only in the last few years started running into those weird issues where like, why is this gun doing this? And it's always interesting to me to find out what's going on. Like my Walther that they had the wrong barrel in, and I'm like, yeah, that'll mess stuff up, huh? Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, whenever you get these exotic designs, right? An AR design is very tried and true, 50 plus years of that sucker being around.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very solid platform.
It is.
The Kel-Tec, I mean, it's a bullpup. It's relatively new design. I mean, Kel-Tec is known for creating new firearms. I love their ingenuity, even though some of their firearms I think are just ugly as sin.
Oh, they get so ugly, but they do some really fun, creative stuff.
They really do. Like one of my buddies, he loves his what's it called? Is it the Sub-Zero or the what is it?
Sub 2K?
Yeah.
Sub 2K? Yeah.
There you go. He loves that sucker. But if you look at it, it's just weird, dude.
It is the weirdest looking. Yeah.
I'm putting a Glock magazine like in a pistol, but it's a rifle.
Yeah.
It looks weird, but he loves it. He's like, it's one of my favorite. And I can get that because I love my Ruger PCC. So
yeah. Well, his is those fold up, right? That's the one that folds. Like, right. Yeah. That those are the coolest little things folded up, but you fold it out and you're like, this doesn't feel like a real gun. Like this feels like a toy. Yeah, those are cool though.
But that's the thing is it's shooting 9mm. Mm-hmm. I bet you it is just smooth as silk.
Oh yeah.
It's probably a great gun to shoot. It's ugly. I mean, the bottom line to me is it's ugly. Like I love the look of an AR. I'm okay. I know a lot of guys like ARs in 9. I'm not as crazy about the look of an AR in 9.
Yeah.
But I love that design, right? I mean, I'm a big AR design guy. So,
and once it's like, it's like the guy who works on Ford F-Series trucks and it's just what he does and he knows it well. And like, same thing, man. Once you know the AR platform and you're like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. And barring, like some tweaks with buffer tubes and all that kind of stuff to make sure all that's right on a 9mm, like you're dealing with the same thing, Yeah. I'm with you. But no, those little Kel-Tecs, even when I fold one of those out and try to shoulder it, they feel weird. Like it just, I don't know. So I'd probably still go for the AR on that, but I think those are cool. Yeah. That's the one where we were doing the video promoting, because we had an event where you could come and shoot those among some other things. It was a fun gun event. And I'm talking about, this is awesome, man. It folds up and you can just put it in your briefcase. And the guy's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Concealed carry permit. He's like, no, this is considered a rifle. You can't do that. And so I'm like, never mind. I'm just joking, officer. I don't know all the gun laws, so who knows which ones I'm breaking. I'm just kidding. Gosh. I know most of them and I'm not breaking any of them.
There you go. That's the correct answer.
That's right. I do not break gun laws.
Dude, I'm in California. I don't carry a gun. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no guns here.
That's right. They have those here?
What's a
just
gun?
In the movies.
Dude, okay, guys, this is how jacked up my state is. They're trying to pass a bill right now because they want to shut down all the indoor ranges in California. So the bill is this. It is ranges cannot sell ammunition unless it is certified lead-free ammo.
Oh.
Like that's what they're trying to pass right now. So ranges make their money selling ammo. They don't make it off of the $20 that you paid for range time. They make it off of the ammo that you buy. And they sell their own. Like a lot of ranges, they manufacture their own ammunition and they sell that. And this is California, man. They want to shut down all the indoor ranges and then they'll go after the outdoor ranges next. Yeah. And it's like, this is my state. My state is jacked up and I can't leave because of my wife. Otherwise, I'd be out of here like years ago.
Man. Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
I keep waiting for the coronavirus to come wipe out my state, please.
Oh, yeah. We haven't gotten to talk about that today. We're going to run out of time. But did you see where like a dude in like San Francisco just suddenly got it and they can't find anybody else around him who had it?
Yeah, but I look at that and I'm like, you just didn't find the connection.
Probably so. But still scary.
Dude, yeah. I'm telling you. Well, I really want to know what the numbers are. Like, I want to know what is the death percentage. Not this 2.5% that they're basing off of China's numbers.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe China. I don't know what's real over there. Yeah. Is it like the flu? Because the flu, I think we've had like 10,000 people die since October who got the flu. Like, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Is it like the flu or is it, significantly worse or better? Like, that's all I want to know.
Yeah. I want to know the same thing, man.
Because I don't know if it's just all like, they're trying to scare us, and clearly the Dems have an issue that they, get to beat their drums over.
Yeah. Well, see, for me, I just need to know how much ammo to stockpile, man. This is
well, make sure it's lead-free, certified lead-free.
Out here, man. Like, if I have to shoot to defend myself and my family, you're getting lead poisoning too while you're bleeding. Yeah. That's my birthday's coming up. And so my wife asked me what I wanted, and I sent her a link to 1,000 rounds of Federal 223.
That's awesome.
She's like, I'm not doing this for you. And I'm like, oh, well, sorry.
That's not the perfect wife right there. The perfect wife would be like, I'll get you 2,000.
That's right. She's probably going to do that's right. Yes. She's probably going to do me a gift card or something to old Lake Erie Arms. We'll see. But I also sent her like parts. I want to get, I don't have a suppressor yet for my my Walther, but I so want one. And so I'm like, I'll take the first step and I'll get the little piece that to go on the front of your Walther to be able to do that.
Right.
So I asked for that, and that's only like $25. I'm like, come on, honey, this would be great. She's like, I don't think I want to buy you that.
How long does it take to get a suppressor? Like 9 months?
You might be at 6 months. I don't know what the wait time is now. Normally, I assume 9 months for just about everything, but I don't think it's as long for suppressors.
Yeah, since we can't get any of that here in California, we just got to live vicariously through you guys.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, if you go to an awesome range or an awesome shop like Lake Erie Arms, you buy it there. Of course, they have to hold it while you're waiting on all your tax stamp. But, sometimes they'll let you come out and shoot there. And so you can shoot your thing that you can't take home yet. As I understand, I think there's variants for that. Because I know we've had NFA items that were in transfer. We let the owner come out, and under our supervision, we let him shoot it while he was waiting. So that's cool, because my understanding is effectively it's under the NFA of the gun store. And so they can have you out and shoot it if you want it, but it's got to be under their supervision, and they're still retaining it there. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Here in California, we've had the range I train at a lot. It's called FT3 in Stanton. And they've got a lot of connections, obviously, because they're the nicest range in Orange County, by far, nicest range. Mm-hmm. And so every once in a while, I'll get the notification, hey, we got a guy bringing out his saw or bringing out, some full autos. I'm like, how does he have that? He's in the movie industry. Oh. Okay. And so they'll bring them out and shoot them off. And dude, they're just fun to watch, man.
That's awesome. And once you've shot a full auto, man, it's just a great experience.
Like, it's hard to go back.
Well, and I'll be honest, like as far as practical value, like, I mean, very limited when you would need full auto. I mean, there's a reason why like so many of the military and police are using 3-round bursts, you know, but like, man, it's pretty awesome. It's just fun. And especially if somebody else has paid for the ammo. Yeah. When you're paying for the ammo. Yeah. Like I shot that MAC-10 and it was just like, I mean, it's like, I don't know, a second and a half, and the magazine is empty. And you're like, wow.
That's the thing is I want in Nevada, they've got a lot of places out there that you can go rent full auto. Like you can get little packages, do a bunch of different full auto. I mean, the packages can get up there to like $1,000 for, you know, a bunch of different full auto guns. And I'm sitting there looking at that going, yeah, the problem is I'm literally going to burn through the ammo so quick. I don't know that I can justify paying that much money for something that's really going to be that quick.
Yeah. But you should do it once just because it's so awesome. I mean, like just one time, just mag dump something and you're like, and then you will smile and you'll smile the rest of the day about it. And then you'll be talking about it for the next week and a half, smiling all the whole time. Like you actually are getting for that second and a half, you're getting so much experiential joy that then carries over in all of the times you're telling about it. All your friends are jealous. You're really actually getting like, I don't know, a month of joy out of that. So you can't think about the like second and a half that you're actually burning that ammo. You got to think about that whole week. It's going to be great. Yeah.
I like
Keep it in
it.
mind. If you get out here, I'll call my buddy John, who he should be able to about the time I think he can take John is my random name that I use for him. Maybe we should call him Leroy, but like, he's got one, it's all legal, everything, but might see if you were out here at the right time, if we could say, hey man, have you been able to retain ownership of that yet? And can we hit the range with you? We'll bring the ammo.
Awesome, man. I dig it.
It'd be cool. Good stuff. All right. So should we do our sign off here?
Go for it.
All right, everybody. Got to always mention Lake Erie Arms. Great place. By the way, it's a good time to talk about NFA transfers. If you are in the market to get yourself an NFA item, let's say a suppressor, let's say you're, on Craigslist and you're going to legally purchase, say a MAC-10 or a Tech-9 or somebody's got some Thompson out there that you can transfer ownership of. Praise the Lord. That's awesome. Let's do it. You can do it at Lake Erie Arms. And you can do it right, all legal. Everything's taken care of the way it needs to be. Great place to do it. And they're pretty nice guys who are probably going to let you shoot it there at the range with them before you take it. So good stuff. Awesome. Check out Lake Erie Arms. And if you're a listener, go to learms.net. You can always subscribe to all of our free build pages, defense videos, all that kind of stuff. Great way to get into shooting. Check out learms.net. And of course, if you're in here in Huron, Ohio, come on out. We'll check out the place. You will have a wonderful time. We guarantee it. Have a good day.
Cool. All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the From Concealment Podcast with Pete Mitchell and Dan Sams. Be sure to tune in next week for more gun talk. Also, check out the From Concealment website for more shooting-related goodness at FromConcealment.com.